This week on Tales from a Passport, we talk about fleeing borders and trying to find safe haven during the coronavirus pandemic. We also look at life on a boat when borders have closed and sailing options are limited. While our sailing plans may have changed, we find the silver linings offered here in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I wanted to share with you all a little story that I'm going to call the 7-knot race to escape closing borders. It was 2 a.m. on March 17th when I woke up with a gut feeling that we had to leave Puerto Rico. Things had gotten very crazy in a matter of 48 hours. We rolled off the dock at 9 a.m. and straight into 20-knot plus winds and 12-foot swells, only to make it into St. Thomas 7 hours later. Once we arrived, we found out that the British Virgin Islands were closing their borders the following day. The next day, we barely cleared customs in the BVI with an hour to spare. We spent the next week at our home away from home, Nanny Cay. There we found out that we could change boats early and into a bigger boat, a Leopard 48. The day we switched boats, we learned that the BVI would be going into a 24-hour lockdown. We both felt that it was time to head back into the safety of U.S. waters since we're U.S. citizens. We rented a mooring ball and have decided to ride out the remainder of our time here in St. John. The people of St. John have been wonderful. They have helped make sure we have the things we need, whether that may be food, water, or fuel. In return, we are being very respectful and protective of their beautiful waters. I know that I will always be grateful and thankful for this place.
Mornings start at sunrise for Susan, and not quite so early for myself. However, we both find ourselves meeting over coffee to talk about the day and come up with a game plan on what we want to do and what we need to do. Sometimes it can get pretty detailed, but most of the time it stays pretty simple. This morning, Susan worked on getting the boys' school in order, and I helped distract her by playing a little Bob Marley.
Look, I did it.
And after our time together in the mornings, no matter what the day throws at us, I think Bob Marley said it best when he said, "Everything's gonna be all right." After coffee, Susan and I divvy up the chores. Susan decides to head to shore to dump trash as well as do some much-needed provisioning for the boat. While she motors away, I've decided to stay behind and start working on an already procrastinated job, cleaning the hull of the boat. Luckily, this is not a chore that has to be done often, but it still does need to be done. I typically try to clean the hull at least once a month to keep work a little less labor-intensive. On land, cleaning the hull of this boat may take me an hour, but this job takes place underwater. Little things like holding my breath to scrub below the waterline or struggling against currents and swells that are constantly pushing me away from the boat tend to wear me down and wear me out. However, it is nice at the end of the day to see a squeaky clean hull that will hopefully stay that way until next month. Although there's always work to be done on the boat, there's also plenty of time to sit back, relax, and find something fun to keep us entertained. Sometimes something as simple as fishing off the back of the boat can keep us entertained for hours.
Thank you. Took years of hard work and practice to get that.
And when the sun gets hot, all we need to do is jump off the back of the boat and take a refreshing dive in the cool ocean water. It turns out that there's often something lurking underneath our boat regardless of where we are or what we're doing. Oftentimes we find small reef fish under the boat, while other times we may find larger marine life like a barracuda or even a tarpon taking refuge in the shade our boat provides. And oftentimes there are reefs within swimming distance of the boat that we can dive when we feel like we need to do more than just cool off. The longer we have been on the boat, the more we enjoy exploring these natural aquariums. Here, we really have a chance to see marine life thrive and have opportunities to observe them in their natural habitat. Spending my time snorkeling these reefs has officially become one of my favorite pastimes. Typically, we will fix dinner on the boat and share a meal with some of our close friends that we've made during our time at sea. We met the Rybers early on in our adventure and have been hard to separate ever since. Mathis, Danielle, Tice, and Diesel have helped us take the isolation out of social distancing. Tonight, we've found an anchorage that allows us to take dinner off the boat and enjoy a meal on the beach while watching one of the many awe-inspiring sunsets that never get old here in the Caribbean. Susan and Danielle are amazing chefs, and whether we're having a low country boil, simply grilling steaks, or having a full-on Italian feast, we always seem to eat good when we're together. All in all, ending the day with a beautiful sunset, good food, and even better friends is exactly the kind of day we always strive for.